श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय राधिकायै प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणेति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपनुगवराय ते वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन, Dandavat pranams to all. So we have started our chapter 2, and we discussed very few important points, few important topics from our chapter 2. Now we will continue with that. We will continue further. But before that, because last class we covered some very important philosophical points in which we discussed about Mayavadism, about Shankaracharyaji's monastic doctrine. So regarding that, I thought to give a little visualization to everyone. So I created some presentation like images I have created. I have used it, which will give an overall visualization in our heart, in our mind, so that we will never forget this. Because many times what happens, the deep Siddhanta, the Tattvas, we tend to forget. But with some pictorial view or with some visualization, we can actually understand the difference that is present between our pure philosophy and the mixed philosophy of Shankaracharya, of Mayavadism or Voidism. So let's go through that. So everyone can see the screen. In the last class, we discussed about the question, a beautiful question asked by Sannyasi Thakur to Premdas Babaji Maharaj. And in the way of understanding that question, we discussed about some important points regarding this Shankaracharyaji's Mayavad philosophy. What is it? We tried to understand about what is Prema, what is Advaita Siddhi. All these things we tried to understand. But in today's class, what we will do, we will be having some visualizing understanding of all the things that we heard. So this is the slide that I created, visualizing the concept. See, in Mayavad, what we heard when we were understanding Mayavad through this particular diagram, that how the Lord, He arranged for a beautiful plan for all of us, through which this amazing Vaishnavism, this spotless Vaishnavism can be established. We all heard this thing that how the Vedas, the essence of Vedas started missing in the general public society. And what started happening, the Brahmanas, in the name of Vedas, they started doing all kind of violence, killing animals and everything in the name of sacrifice. So Krishna, he devised a plan in which he came as Buddha incarnation, Lord Buddha, in which he introduced zero. Then he sent Shankaracharya who introduced one, and then through one, two was introduced. That means Vaishnavism was introduced. We very elaborately heard about this in our previous class. Those who have not uh, heard the previous class, if they will watch that lecture, they will develop the whole understanding, the planning of Krishna and what was the role of Shankaracharyaji's Brahmavad Nirvishesh, the featureless Brahma philosophy, because two cannot be introduced just after zero. Two will be able to get introduced only after one. So that was the essential point which we made, that how Shankaracharya actually, in real sense, he did a great contribution to our Vaishnav Sampradaya. So all those things we covered. In this class, we will try to understand that what actually is the real difference. We will try to visualize the differences between the sampradayas, or not sampradayas, basically between all these different kind of things that Krishna arranged. Why he introduced zero first, why he introduced one, like we will be able to understand only when we will get to know what is zero exactly, what is one exactly, and what is two exactly. Then we will be able to appreciate the differences, and we will be able to see the whole, we will be able to connect the points, the dots that Krishna has arranged. So let's see. For this, let's take an example. When we are standing from very far to a mountain, then in the right side you can see there are three pictures. The lowest picture, you can see it is very hazy. A person who is observing from very very far, what he is observing, he is observing that the mountains, some mountains appear like clouds. Mountains, they are appearing like clouds. So the definition that he will give, that what he is seeing is that there is some hazy, some clouds, some white clouds are there, some blurry type of description he will give. And then if we go little bit nearer, when we go nearer, then you can see the second image, the middle image, find that the mountains are very green. Mountains are green. So the description has been like it became more clear. Previously, it was very blurry description in which you're saying just some clouds are there. But as soon as we go closer, the view is becoming more clearer. And with that clear view, the description becomes more refined. Understanding. And with that refined definition, vision, we can give the better definition in which we are saying the mountains are green in color. There is some kind of green blanket which has been applied on the mountains. But when we go even closer, when we go and stand there in the mountain itself, then we find so many more things. There are plants, there are trees, different varieties of trees. There are rivers, waterfalls, different kinds of rocks, different kinds of vegetations, grasses, so many flowers, whatnot. All these things now are being described that are present inside that mountain. So the description became much more refined, much more complete. But if a person does not actually take the pain of going closer to the mountain, if the person does not actually take the pain of going into the land which is present in the going there in the mountain and observing everything that is present there, then what will be the definition that he has to satisfied with? He has to stay satisfied with the first definition, that yes, mountains, they are white in color. Why? Because they are covered with clouds. So just that, because he has seen only that much and he has not taken the pain to go nearer to the mountain or get into there. So what the definition that he has is a very blurry definition and it's very limited. So in the same way, in the left image you can see, when we talk about different kinds of knowledge, different kinds of school of thoughts like Shunyavad, Brahmavad, and our Vaishnavism. So it has been compared that how from zero it is going to one and then it is going to two. So when it's improving, it means that we are talking more about the details and we are also going a little bit further. So when we talk about Brahmavad, so it talks about Brahma Gyan. It talks about Brahma Gyan. And then further, there are deeper levels of understandings of Paramatma Gyan and Bhagavan Gyan. Try to understand this point. That how Brahmavad, they are like externally, they are satisfied only with the rays of the sun. In the left diagram, you can see. This is the diagram which represents that there is this sun type of ball, sun ball you can see. It's black in color. Just to understand, we are seeing this, that how it is illuminating a very strong red light. Now, the external light, just knowing and being satisfied with that uh, realm, that understanding of light, which is outside that particular thing which is emanating that light. For example, here you can see there is this ball. It's like a sun. Suppose we take an example of sun only. Sun is emanating sunlight. So there is knowledge about sunlight. There is knowledge about the circumference of the sun. And then there is also knowledge about the core inside the sun. Try to understand this. So when we talk about sun has basically three parts. First is the inner core. Second part is the circumference. And the third part is the outside area where the sunlight is reaching. So Brahma Gyan, like the way the sun is represented in three ways: inside core, circumference, and the outside sunlight area. In the same way, Lord, that Supreme Personality, He is represented, He is present in three ways, in three levels. The first level, which is the lowest level, is the Brahma Gyan. The knowledge of Brahm. Brahm is just the effulgence of the Lord. Can understand like this. And then the second level, which is Paramatma Gyan. First level is Brahma Gyan. Second is Paramatma Gyan. Lord is present in three forms: Brahm, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. So, knowledge about Brahm is called Brahma Gyan. Knowledge about Paramatma is called Paramatma Gyan. And then knowledge about Bhagwan is called Bhagwan Gyan. Gyan means knowledge. So, the gradation, the three gradation that we can see, it is same as trying to understand the sun, the inner core, the circumference, and the external light. The way a person who just observed that mountain from the far, he created a theory himself telling about the knowledge of the mountains. In that theory, what he is coming up with, that the mountains, they are very blurry. They are little bit white in color, and there is some grayish also things present there. So this is the theory that he introduced. This is the knowledge that he has given with his observation, which is true. That's fine. But the difference comes from the point of standing. What is the point of view? That particular person who is writing about mountains, he is standing very far, and standing from very far, he is writing a theory explaining that mountains look like this. But is it the complete thing? No, that's not the complete thing. Now, when the second person he goes little bit nearer to the mountain, he writes, he updates that theory. He tells that no, no. In actually, the fact is that the mountains are green in color. They are completely like they are wearing some kind of green blanket. It appears like this. So the definition is improved, and it's now the real, it is becoming more and more real, more and more refined. Now the third person who has actually entered into the mountain and standing there, he is observing all the trees and everything. He is telling what is present in the mountain, what it is made of. Now that's the full definition. In the same way, defining sunlight is not complete definition of the sun. Defining just the circumference of the sun is also not the complete definition. Complete definition comes when we know what is present inside the core of the sun, how he is able to emanate so much light, what is happening inside, what are the things present there. So, in the same way, this knowledge, as we can see the differences in these three knowledges, in these three definitions of these particular objects, two examples we have taken, mountain and the sun. In both the examples, we are able to see that three observations have been done, three facts have been given. All three are correct. It's not that uh, we will not say this that they all are wrong, only one is right. The point is that only the last one is complete. The first one also is the right observation only. It's not that his eyes are in fault. When we are describing about sunlight, whatever he is writing about sunlight is right. But he is not taking the pain to go up till the circumference. He is not taking the pain to go into the core also. So that's why, even if it is right, it's not complete. It's like settling with less. It's like I am settled with less. Oh, I just want to know about sunlight only. I don't want to know about sun. That's not the real knowledge then. It's not complete knowledge then. So here we will see that how hmm, next slide. So this point is completely clear because next slide will be based on the concept that we just discussed in this slide. That how there are different levels of understanding as per, even in the case of Lord, because the Lord is present in three forms. First is Brahma. He is present in the form of Brahman, and he is present in the form of Paramatma, and also he is present in the form of the Supreme Bhagwan. That's the real form. That's like the core. So next, we are in the next slide now, which tells about how Mayavad philosophy, what is their essence basically. So as we discussed that the Lord is present in the three ways. First is Brahman, second is Paramatma, and third is Bhagavan. So in these three categories also, we can see like the Mayavad philosophy, it says, as we discussed in the last class also, that it says that everything is just Brahman. Everything is just Brahman. There is no Lord who is in a localized or in a personality form. They don't say this. What do they say? They only say one thing, that is, everything that is present, everything is just Brahman. It's just like an energy, you can say, in simple words. It's just an energy, and there is no personality, there is no personal form of Bhagwan. Bhagwan is Brahma. Everything is Brahma, so even the Lord, everything, Lord, Jiva, everything is Brahma only. Now, what they say that a part of that Brahma, when it comes in contact with Maya, it becomes like us, Jiva. So they say we also are Brahma. It's just that we are entangled in Maya. That's the point. And as soon as we get out of Maya through our practices, then we will merge back into that Brahman. And then we will also, what will happen? We will also become Brahman. And then we will be like Lord Himself, who is in the form of energy only. Lord also does not have His own form. So they consider Krishna also as not Bhagwan. They consider that, okay, Krishna has taken birth 5,000 years back, but he was also under Maya. They say that he was also Brahma. That was not his real Swarupa. So Mayavadis, they don't consider Krishna as a boy, as a personality. They consider Krishna also as that, oh, he has right now taken a form, but eternally, in his real state, he is the Brahm. He is that energy. That's it. Which is shapeless, which is formless, which does not have any qualities. That's Nirvishesh Brahmavad. That's the particular philosophy that we discussed. So when we try to visualize it with the diagram, we will find this that how. Just a second. Hmm. In this, we can see that Lord is present in three forms: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. The lowest is like the energy, which is just the effulgence of the Lord, which is called as Brahman. And then in the localized form, the Lord is present as Paramatma in individual entity. And then the Lord's eternal own form is as a personality, that is Bhagwan. So the Mayavad philosophy is just limited to the first step. They say that in the image, you can see the leftmost image, you can see that Mayavad philosophy says that a jiva, it gets entangled in Maya, and the Maya Devi, she is making the jiva dance through the three modes of material nature. You can see the three Devis, they are actually representing mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. These three modes are making the person act in certain ways. So this is Maya and how the jiva is bound by Maya. But as soon as it starts practicing and it gets out of Maya, it attains liberation by merging into Brahman. You can see the second image from the left. It will get immersed into that energy, into that Brahman, and then what will happen? That is the liberation state. That is the state in which he will be one. He will attain oneness with Brahman. And that Brahma is everything. That Brahma is supreme. They have the limited definition of the Lord, as the first person had the limited definition of mountains. We just heard the example of mountains and the sun. The first person in both the categories had the limited definition of the mountain, that the mountains are hazy whitish in color. That's it. Because he's seeing from so far, it's just seeing the clouds. And the second person, and the first person in the second example also is just saying the sunlight, that there is some light. That's it. There is no personality, there is no shape. The sun has no shape, it is just light. That's what it says, the first person. So they are the category of those kind of people who consider that Jiva, Bhagwan, has no form. Bhagwan is Brahma. They say that there is only Brahma, there is no Paramatma, there is no Bhagwan. Everything is just Brahma. And Jiva, they are entangled in Maya. As soon as they attained perfection, that is Advaita Siddhi. Advaita Siddhi means there is no two. Advaita. There will be only one. That means the Jiva who is entangled in Maya, as soon as it attains perfection, it will merge into Brahm, it will become one with the Brahm. It will become one with that Brahman, one with that energy, and then that is called Advaita Siddhi for them. That is called the perfect oneness, the state of perfection of absolute oneness. Means the Jiva, the soul, is getting merged into Brahman. So this is Mayavad philosophy. So it's very important to understand this. Why we are discussing this so deeply and so thoroughly, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all our Guru Vargas, they have continuously in their lifetime have actually stood against Mayavadism. That how Mayavadism is very dangerous even for devotees. Why? Because we are Baddha Jiva, we are conditioned souls. We are naturally inclined to enjoyment. We have misused our independence so that we can enjoy separately from Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, He is taking all the services. Why should I not take the services? Why should I not get served by others? This is our tendency, and that's why, be in the family, be in the office, be in our any kind of state, even in ashrams, even in temples, the devotees, they start uh, they do practice, but still there is a tendency to control. I want to become the management head. I want to take this position, that position. Even in the spiritual societies, we are not able to give up that state, because we have this tendency to enjoy. We have this tendency to control. And Mayavad, what it does, it actually gives you a path. It gives you that, oh, if you practice this nicely, then what will happen? You will merge with Brahma. You will become Lord yourself. You will become one with Bhagavan. So you will attain that particular supreme state in which you no longer have to become the servant of anyone, in which you no longer have to do services to anyone. There is no pain, there is no suffering, and you are one with the Lord. So it's very, very dangerous. Our real nature is to become the servant. We are separate from the master. We are not Bhagwan. We can never become Bhagwan. We are very tiny. We are very infinitesimal. That's what we are hearing from all these so many classes. That we are very tiny. And even this thought of merging with Bhagwan, even this thought of such kind of supreme enjoyment is so offensive. It's so painful for the Lord Himself. And that's why this path have been carved, through which proper description of the differences between two personalities, the Jiva and the Bhagavan. So the Lord, He is not just Brahma. The mountain is not just the hazy white picture that I am seeing. The sun is not just the sunlight that I am observing. It's beyond. There is circumference of the sun. There is core inside the sun, which is very beautiful. It has so many different features inside. The mountains has so many different features, has such a beautiful forms inside. In the same way, from Brahman, when we go the first step up, it becomes Paramatma, that is the localized form of the Lord, which is present in everything. We also have Paramatma, even a tiny soul, tiny microorganism also has Paramatma with that. Paramatma is present everywhere. And then further, when we go, then we understand the core of that sun, that is Shri Krishna. We understand that how he has a beautiful cowherd form, cowherd boy's form. He has his own hometown, that is Vrindavan. He has his own family, everything. So that is the features that starts adding on when we take the pain of going closer to the Lord, trying to understand him closer, in closely. So this is very important, that how this whole visualization should be clear to all of us, so that we can really be able to appreciate the difference between what Mayavad philosophy and our Vaishnavism, and how our Vaishnavism, our Vaishnav philosophy is so glorious. So that next time, even we read any kind of text, any kind of lecture, we or some anything, because right now Mayavad philosophy it's so much in preaching also, because they are actually adding fuel to the natural enjoyment tendency of the jivas. They want to become the Lord, they want to become the controller. So for them, it's very um, it's like very attractive. Oh, that I will merge with the Lord. So many Shiv devotees, what they do, they say this particular thing, that Maya Badh Haite Shiv, Maya Mud, Maya Badh Haite Jeev, Maya Mukt Haite Shiv. Means I will worship Shiva until the point I am in this Maya. Till that point I am Jiva. But as soon as I attain perfection, then I will myself become Shiva. That same Parvati Devi who was my mother, she will become my wife. So such offensive is this philosophy. Now, when in this way we try to understand the difference between different kinds of school of thought. Now, going back to the question that was asked by whom? Sannyasi Thakur. For that question only we have given all this explanation. He asked this question that I was in my previous school, in which the school was of Mayavad philosophy. Now we understood the whole Mayavad philosophy. In that, he asked that the topmost goal of Mayavad school was to attain Advaita Siddhi, means oneness with the Brahman. That also we just understood, that how in Mayavad philosophy, their goal, their perfection is to become one with the Brahm, to just merge into the Brahm and become Brahm themselves. They say everything is Brahm, so just go to that state, just merge with that. This is the topmost perfection that they talked about. That was their goal. So he said, my goal in my previous school of Mayavad was that Advaita Siddhi. And now I have come to this Vaishnav school. In this Vaishnav school, the topmost goal has been told that Prem. We discussed about Prem also in the last class. So he is asking this question, that is this Advaita Siddhi is equal to Prem of Vaishnavism? Advaita Siddhi of my Mayavad school is same of Prem of this Vaishnav school. So answer now is given by whom? Prem Das Babaji Maharaj. He is giving a very beautiful example. Answer. He is telling that this Advaita Siddhi that we are just talking about, O Sannyasi Thakur, the Advaita Siddhi that you are talking about is actually a term in Vaishnavism also, but that has a pure definition.
The Advaita Siddhi that you talk about, the goal that you have in the name of Advaita Siddhi, in the name of um, perfection attained by absolute oneness, that is actually the wrong definition. We don't follow that definition. So, in if we take that term Advaita Siddhi through our Vaishnav definition, then it is true that Advaita Siddhi is equal to Prem. But what is that special definition that Vaishnavas use about Advaita Siddhi? So here, Babaji Maharaj is saying, as we can see in the second point, he is saying that we can say, yes, Advaita Siddhi is equal to Prem, but in a condition. Only if we define Advaita Siddhi as the pure state of Jiva without any mundane contamination. Jiva has destroyed the gross, subtle body by body covering and become one with its true spiritual nature and dharma. This is very important point and very simple also. It's not so difficult to understand. What Babaji Maharaj is saying, that you are defining that Advaita Siddhi means absolute oneness, means that we will become one with Brahma. That is your definition. But Vaishnav definition of Advaita Siddhi is that I am gonna become one with my true nature. I right now who I am, I say, oh, I am boy. I am this person. I am the son of this mother. I am I am Indian. I am a particular citizen of this country. So all these things that I am saying about myself, it's different from my real self. Is it different or not? It's different. The identity that I am giving right now to myself, it's different from my real identity. When I will just destroy all these false identity and become one with my real identity, that is called Advaita Siddhi. So beautiful. Premdas Babaji Maharaj is saying, this is Advaita Siddhi. This is absolute perfect oneness when I am becoming one with my true nature. I am the servant of Krishna. I am the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. When I will realize that, that is perfection for me. That is Advaita Siddhi for me. And that Advaita Siddhi is equal to Prem. Why? Because now I am coming to my constitutional function. I am coming to my real spiritual function, which talks about that I am the servant of Krishna and my eternal dharma is to love Krishna, is to love my Supreme Lord, is to serve Him with transcendental divine love. So that became same. That Advaita Siddhi which Babaji Maharaj is describing, it's equal to Prem. But the important point to understand is which l- definition of Advaita Siddhi we are taking. And that's why Babaji Maharaj, in the final concluding word, he simply gave one formula. He simply told that, you can see in the last part of the slide here, I have bolded these two statements. Advaita Siddhi with its real and true understanding. Advaita Siddhi with the true understanding is equal to Prem. Which understanding? In which that I am contaminated right now because of my gross and subtle body coverings. As soon as I get out of it, I remove those covering. Now I will become my, I'll become one with my true spiritual nature. And that is Advaita Siddhi, becoming one with my real dharma, becoming one, understanding and realizing and situating myself in my spiritual nature is absolute oneness. Oneness with my real self, which is right now covered by contaminations like different kind of identities that I am giving through gross body and subtle body. So this Advaita Siddhi is equal to Prem. But that Advaita Siddhi, which is the false interpretation in which the Mayavad philosophy, Shankaracharya's philosophy, in it, the custom has been started in which they are saying Advaita Siddhi, the false interpretation that Advaita Siddhi is I am gonna merge in Brahman. And as soon as I'll merge with Brahman, then I will lose my identity. I'll become one with that Brahm, and that is not Prem. That is not at all prem. Because prem, as we defined in our last lecture, that prem, the basis of prem is there are requirement of two separate entities. Two separate transcendental entities are required. Then only love can happen between them. Then only transcendental love, that divine love, can sprout. If there is only one, then how can there will be relishment? We described three different components, ingredients of love, which is utmost necessary. Without it, love cannot be established. What are the three interpretations? Oh, sorry. What are the three ingredients? First is the relisher. Second, the object of relish. And the third is the act of relishing. These are the three ingredients. I am relishing some rasgulla. So the I am the relisher who is gonna relish this rasgulla. This rasgulla is what? It's the object of relish and the act of relishing. So these three ingredients are necessary for the love to develop. If I will just see that, oh, this is the object of relish, this is rasgulla, and I am the relisher, but if I'll not do the act of relishing it, then will any kind of mood will develop? No. And we are here talking about that transcendental love, transcendental mood that will only develop when there is the Supreme Lord who is the relisher. And when there is Jiva, Jiva is the soul which is the object of relish. And the service between them, the service that Jiva is providing to the Lord, to that relisher, is the act of relishing. When the Lord accepts our services, He is relishing us who are the object of relish. So, prem, it requires these three ingredients. So, it's very important to understand that that kind of Advaita Siddhi, which has a false interpretation, which says that we will just merge with Bhagavan, we will just merge with Brahma. So, then if we'll just merge with Brahma, then all the three ingredients got destroyed. The object of relish, it just entered into the relisher. Then it just destroyed everything. The prem will never be established there. So prem is never equal to that kind of Advaita Siddhi. But yes, the real Advaita Siddhi, the true understanding, in which what has been said, Jiva's external dress, that gross and subtle body covering, the contamination, when it gets destroyed and it becomes one with its true spiritual nature, then it becomes the real object of relish now. And when it becomes the real object of relish, because the Bhagwan is present as the relisher, he will be able to do the act of relishing. And when that act of relishing will start, prem will naturally develop. So prem is equal to this pure Advaita Siddhi. It's not equal to that impure Advaita Siddhi. I hope that is clear. If any doubt, can ask. Now, going to the next slide. So here, when Sannyasi Thakur, he is hearing all these things, so Premdas Babaji Maharaj is telling that how fortunate you are. You are so fortunate that you are able to hear this pure Vaishnavism, which is mixed with the gift of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he instructed the entire world to taste prema. And he personally taught by his beautiful divine activities and conduct that how to actually taste that prema, how to endeavor to become the object of relish for Krishna. Because when he will relish us, then we will also be able to taste that prem. So it's so important. The prema he gave, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the prem, the love, the transcendental divine love that he gave is beyond Maya and is the highest development of the unalloyed state of perfect oneness, Advaita Siddhi. So here he just confirmed this. That how the prem that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave is beyond Maya. It's not mixed, it's not contaminated by Maya. It's beyond, and it's in its the purest form. And that purest form, it's the highest development of Advaita Siddhi. The inconsequential theory of Mayavad is useless for understanding the subject matter of Prem in any of its stages. Prem, it's a very it's a very huge thing actually. Even at the lowest stages of Prem, Mayavad philosophy cannot work. Such is the uselessness of that philosophy in terms of Vaishnavism. We heard that at certain point, for a certain period of time, Mayavad philosophy, the work of Shankaracharya ji was very important because that acted as the base in which this Vaishnav Dharma, this Vaishnav palace, Vaishnavism palace could be built. But that was just for the specific period of time when it was required. It's not eternal. Eternal is this Vaishnav Dharma. Eternal is the nature of Vaishnavism, which is filled with the subject matter of Prem. And the inconsequential theory, the theory is incomplete. The theory is incomplete to understand even a single little point of Prem. For example, we just took the example of what? Mountains. We took the example of mountain. So the first person who described about the mountains from very far, telling that the mountains are a little white, hazy, and full of clouds. Will that theory be of any use when I want to understand even the basic part of the mountains inside? There are so many things in the mountain. One of the most basic thing is the trees present on the mountain. Will that theory help me to understand even a little bit about the trees? That theory is not even telling that trees are green. There is some green blanket. No, it's not telling that also. What it's observing, there is no green thing he's observing. He's observing something white, blurry haziness. That's what is the definition of mountain, and they are satisfied with this. But that kind of theory is not at all useful even to understand one plant, even to understand one leaf present inside that mountain. In the same way, Mayavad theory, it's completely inconsequential. It's completely useless while we want to understand even the basic level of prema. So it's important to understand this. And when Sri Premdas Babaji Maharaj is telling Sannyasi Thakur about this particular gift that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given, the gift of Prem, the divine love, then Sannyasi Thakur, as we told in the last class, that how he was comparing with his previous school. And now, when he is enrolled in the school of Vaishnavism, in the school of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his happiness has no bound. Also, now, after hearing this beautiful explanation by Shri Premdas Babaji Maharaj, he is able to, like, he wants to dance at once, thinking that how fortunate I am that I have left that previous school and have enrolled into this amazing school of Vaishnavism. And what are these uh, like so nice gifts which are wow moments for me, which I am getting in the form of Mahaprabhu's gift through the lotus mouth of Premdas Babaji Maharaj. So Sannyasi Thakur, he has no bound. And now what that resulted in? Sannyasi Thakur's increase in Nishtha. So this is a very strong point for all of us, that why we are here discussing all these things. Why we are here discussing about all these kind of other school of thoughts also, and comparing that with our Vaishnav school of thought, our Vaishnavism, just to increase our staunch faith and nishtha. Because when we hear all these things, we understand that how fortunate we are, how fortunate we are, and now how can I actually take the best of this opportunity that I have got. And Sannyasi Thakur, he is feeling so deep emotions and so much increase in Nishtha is going on. He, with crying face, tears in his eyes, with folded hands, he is saying, "Oh Gurudev, oh Premdas Babaji Maharaj, oh my Gurudev, you have mercifully dispelled whatever doubts I had in this regard. I was confused with these different schools. I had some interest, but now that interest is not just an interest. Many people, most of us, many times, we start our spiritual life with a little interest. That, okay, I have some interest in prasadam, I have some interest in some kirtan. So, what should I do? Let me just go and see what happens there. Initially, we don't know the real glories of Vaishnavism, but then our that interest, it starts changing into faith. And when we associate more and hear all these beautiful gifts that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us in this sampradaya, then that faith, it becomes nishtha. It does not stay as a soft faith. It becomes very strong nishtha, very strong commitment that I want to follow this. Now I am able to relish the real objects that are present in this sampradaya, in this school, and I don't want to lose it. Instead, I want to preserve it. And what should I do to preserve it? I want to relish it more and more. And that's why he is saying what he is saying. I at once want, oh my Gurudev, I at once want to remove this sannyasi, the Mayavad sannyas garb that I am wearing. Right now, my uniform is of previous school. Because I just enrolled in your school, I am observing the students here are in different uniform. But my uniform, what I'm wearing, is still of my previous school. And after hearing the glories of this school, after hearing the syllabus, the curriculum of your school, I really want to at once remove this uniform of my previous school. And I want to accept dress as you are wearing, as your school it gives the uniform. My darkness, my all issues which I have been suffering from, my ignorance, it has been removed by you. A beautiful kirtan in which it has been said, Shri Guru Kripaye Bhengeche Swapana বুঝেছি এখন তুমি আপন তব নিজ জন परम बांधव संसार कारागारे ओहे प्रेमेर ठाकुर गोरा ओहे प्रेमेर ठाकुर गोरा. In this kirtan, a beautiful line has come. श्री गुरु कृपाय भेंगेचे स्वपन बुझेची एकन तुम्ही तो आपण. That by the mercy of Gurudev, what has happened? My eyes have got opened. My dream, my dreamy state in which I was living, it has got broken. Bhengeche swapan. And now I have got to know that, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he is the real personality of my life. He is the real person who is my all in all, who is the giver of that supremely divine love, who is the most compassionate personality present. I start developing my relationship with Gauranga Mahaprabhu through the words of Gurudev, who tells me that what gifts Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has packed for me. It creates so much attachment in the heart of the jiva, in the heart of the sadhaka, that Mahaprabhu becomes his hero. Mahaprabhu becomes the hero of all the devotees of Radha and Krishna. And then all kind of ignorance and darkness get removed by Shri Guru's mercy. So with this in heart, Sannyasi Thakur is praying to Premdas Babaji Maharaj that I at once want to remove these clothes. But what Premdas Babaji Maharaj is giving as a reply is full of such beautiful teachings, which actually is something that we have to meditate on. Babaji Maharaj is giving a very important teaching through this beautiful reply, talking about dharma and the external dress. Because what Sannyasi Thakur said, that after hearing all this, I want to remove my external dress and I want to accept the external dress of Vaishnavas. I want to remove this external dress of Mayavad Sannyasi. So here Babaji Maharaj is saying that no need of doing that at once. Why? Because when dharma or spiritual function of the heart is purified, then the external dress will be set right easily and naturally. It's very important to understand this. Just wearing the dress does not make a person devotee. Our Guru Maharaj tells this, that how the Vaishnav dress, it takes few hundreds of rupees. You have to buy 10 rupee tilak, 10 rupees kanthimala, some 200 rupees kurta, 300 rupees dhoti, 100 rupees utri. That's it. And you become a Vaishnav externally. Whoever will see you will pay you obeisances. They will say, oh, this is Vaishnav, this is Vishnu Bhakta, Krishna's devotee. But is he real? Really? Just by spending few hundreds of rupees and wearing the external dress, does a person becomes a devotee? No. Why? Because there is the difference between the real spiritual function of the heart and the external dress. The external dress, it's easy to wear, but developing that dharma inside the heart, the real spiritual function in the heart, making it purified, that's the challenge. And that's what is required first. Then external dress you can wear. There are two things. Today is a very auspicious day, Vasant Panchami, and so many appearance, disappearance day of so many of our Goswamis and Acharyas. And one of that is Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's Tithi today. In that, while describing the life and teachings of Raghunath Das Goswami, our all Guru Vargas, they come to a specific point. They actually mention this specific point most of the time. What is that? About the parents of Raghunath Das Goswami. How the parents of Raghunath Das Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept them in the category of Vaishnav Pray. One term is Vaishnav, means devotees of Krishna, devotees of Vishnu. Second is Vaishnav Pray, means who appear like Vaishnavas. Externally, if we'll observe, we will not be able to differentiate between Vaishnav Pray and Vaishnava because they exactly appear same. They also wearing the tilak, exact same, wearing kanthimala, having chanting beads in the hand, and wearing dhoti kurta, and very nicely they are doing some services also. They are arranging programs in the house also, coming to the temple also, paying obeisances also. Everything they are doing. But still, our Acharya say the parents of Raghunath Das Goswami who are doing all these things, who are uh, exactly looking like Vaishnavas, but they are Vaishnav Pray. Why? Because inside the heart of the parents, they still have so much attachment towards wealth, towards the prestige, towards the family life, towards the fame of the family, the respect, the aristocracy of the family. They are inviting all the Vaishnavas in their house programs. They are creating so many big feasts, arranging for Vaishnavas. But the goal is to not attain pure devotion. The goal is that the heart, the mood inside the heart is that, oh, everything that we have should be maintained nicely. Our position, our power, our prestige, all the things, our wealth, it should be maintained nicely. And for that, we should do something good, so let's do Vaishnav Seva. Let's worship Bhagwan. Let's apply, let's make a positive, nice, good lifestyle, a devotee lifestyle. But they are not accepting real lifestyle, the real moods that a Vaishnava should have. The moods are material, the intentions are material. And that's why Guru Varga, Srila Gurudev, he said, the parents of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, they are the best example of Vaishnav Pray. Looking like Vaishnavas, wearing the external dress, but not Vaishnavas. Vaishnav Pray. And then there is another term which is called Vishaya Pray. Vishaya means enjoyer. So, so one is Vishaya, as we just heard, one is Vaishnava, which is true Vaishnava, which has the real mood to serve, to love Krishna. And then second is Vaishnav Pray, which is externally having Vaishnav dress but not real Vaishnava. In the same way, Vishay and Vishaya Pray. Vishay is that who is enjoyer in and out. He is an enjoyer and he is wearing also very fancy dress, very nice goggles, sunglasses. Very nicely, he is acting as a Vishay. And also, he is Vishay. He is engaged in all the lower enjoyment activities. He is Vishay. That's the name. But there is Vishay Pray, who appears like enjoyer, but inside they are Vaishnavas. And the perfect example is of the personality whose tithi also is today, that is Shri Pundrik Vidyanidhi. He is one of the associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Pundrik Vidyanidhi. In his Krishna Leela, he is Vrishabhanu Maharaj. He is father of Radharani. So Vrishabhanu Maharaj came as Pundrik Vidyanidhi in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Gaur Leela. So when Gadadhar Pandit, he was sent by Mahaprabhu to Pundrik Vidyanidhi, Gadadhar Pandit got really confused. Mahaprabhu told that go and meet this beautiful, nice Vaishnava. Mukund Dutt, also one of the associate of Mahaprabhu, he took Gadadhar Pandit and saying that today I will make you meet with such a beautiful, nice Vaishnava that you will be thankful to me for your whole rest of the life. So Gadadhar Pandit was very excited that, oh, Mukund Dutt, he is my so nice friend. He is taking me to meet this great Vaishnava, and he's so excited to meet him. Now, when they entered into the room, Gadadhar Pandit was like he had no words. He got so surprised and shocked. He saw Pundrik Vidyanidhi. He is sitting on a swing, on a jhula, on a swing, and there are so many sevikas, so many maid servants and servants standing besides him, and they are fanning him. Now, this Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he is lying down on the swinging bed and he is eating betel nuts. And then there is a pot in which he can spit. The maid servants are carrying that pot so that he can spit in that. And he is having so nice curly long hairs, very nicely oiled with the most expensive oil. Very nice scent has been applied. Such aristocratic, such like kingly description has been given there. That even the best of all enjoyers will not enjoy so much, will not appear to be enjoying so much as this Pundrik Vidyanidhi he's looking like. So now Gadadhar Pandit, when he saw this, he just looked at Mukund Datta that whom you have brought me to. Who is this personality? He is not saying, but he is having this kind of mood in the heart. And Mukund Dutt could understand just by the facial expressions of Gadadhar Pandit that he is having doubt by seeing the external appearance of Pundrik Vidyanidhi. Gadadhar Pandit is really shocked. Now, Mukund Dutt, to remove the doubts of Gadadhar Pandit, he devised a plan. He just started singing a shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam describing the glories, the compassion of Krishna. As soon as he spoke just first two lines of that shloka describing the beautiful glories and compassion of Lord Shri Krishna, that how he delivered Putana, the killer, that Putana who came to kill Krishna, Krishna not just delivered but actually gave her the position as a nurse in Golok Vrindavan. Such compassion Krishna has. So when he was speaking that shloka describing this compassion, just two lines he spoke, and Pundrik Vidyanidhi, the words of that shloka, as soon as it entered into the ears of Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he could not stay. He just stood up from his swing, and he could not stand also. He started calling out, Ha Krishna, Ha Krishna. He came completely mad, falling on the ground, tears coming in the eyes, and completely all the ecstatic symptoms started entering into his body. And seeing this, Gadadhar Pandit, he felt so bad that such a great Vaishnava, and what I was thinking about him, that he is enjoyer, he is engaged, he is absorbed in all this petty enjoyment, he is a Vishay, he is a materialistic man. I was thinking this, but he is so great. He is so great personality. Internally, he is having so much moods, so much pure moods, so much Vaishnavism is present inside his heart. So he started fying on himself that what did I do? So this particular example of Pundrik Vidyanidhi is the perfect example of Vishaya Pray. The personality who appears like Vishaya, who appears like enjoyer, like materialistic being, but they are not Vishaya, they are not materialistic. They are pure devotees present inside their heart. If we see their heart, the moods externally for some reasons, even if they are wearing all these external dress of an enjoyer, but they are pure Vaishnava inside. So Vishaya Pray and Vaishnava Pray. So Premdas Babaji Maharaj here is giving such a beautiful understanding and teaching that where there is too much concern for the external appearance, there is inattention to the soul's inner function. Here, Premdas Babaji Maharaj is explaining that external dress is not everything. External appearance is not everything. It can actually uh, make you confused. Many times, what happens? People think that, oh, they are in the dress of sadhu, so they must be very nice. But no, it's not the case always. So many cheaters, they accept the dress of sadhu so that they can earn more. There are so many examples regarding this. When I was in Vrindavan once, so our Prabhuji, he explained with an example this particular point, that how in Vrindavan there are so many feasts. They keep on happening on different tithis, different mutt, different temples. They invite sadhus, they invite brahmacharis and sannyasis from all the mutts in Vrindavan so that they can come for the feast. And when they come, they just welcome, they offer prasadam, and they give some donation also. 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees. Now, one particular brahmachari, he was sitting in the line, and now the custom is that the sannyasis will sit in a separate line and the brahmacharis will sit in the separate line. So the brahmacharis, one of this brahmachari is sitting in the brahmachari line, and after prasadam, the host is giving some donations to everyone, all the brahmacharis and all the sannyasis. Now he is observing that the brahmacharis are getting 10 rupees, and he observed that the sannyasis sitting on that row, they are getting 50 rupees. So now what he did, he accepted sannyas wish. He accepted dress of a sannyasi so that next time when he will go in the feast, he will sit in sannyasi's line and he will not get 10 rupees but 50 rupees. He will get 40 rupees extra. So this is the reason why he accepted sannyas, the external dress. So will that external dress be really justified? No. So we have to focus on internalizing the moods, the proper teachings, the real value of this dress, instead of just taking it externally. And it's a very important point for all of us, be it householders, be it um, brahmacharis, everyone. For all of us, it is very important to understand these points, because we many times in, like this is the beautiful statement as Premdas Babaji Maharaj has made, that when there is too much concern for the external appearance, there is inattention to the soul's inner function. This statement is very deep to understand. We will discuss this further in the next class also, because this is the main objective for our studying Jaiva Dharma, that we try to extract those teachings which Guru Vargas want to give to us through this book. If we don't contemplate on these amazing statements, amazing teachings, important teachings, then we will just become what? We will become PhD from our head, and we will stay kindergarten from our heart. We will become very big PhD from the head, that, oh, I have understood all this Mayavad philosophy, this philosophy, and all the things that has been mentioned there. But if I'll not internalize those teachings, if I'll not focus on them and meditate on those teachings which are present, hidden in these words of Jaiva Dharma, then I will become PhD from my head, that I understood the concept, but I will stay a kindergarten, a very immature person from the heart. So that I do not want. Because when the life will give the kicks, what actually works? The head does not work when the life gives kicks. The heart works. How strong your heart is, how strongly we have internalized the words of our acharyas, and we are able to apply them in the worst calamitical situations, in the worst situations of our life. So that's why we will try to dive deeper into these teachings, specifically this teaching of Premdas Babaji Maharaj, and we will continue this particular point in the next class. I wanted to cover this in this class only, but could not really, because of the time just fly so fast. Anyway, so we will conclude with this. It's already 2:13. We will cover this with the next class, and I hope this particular concepts regarding the visualizing of the concept that we just did in this today's class, this actually helped. And if there is any doubt, then please feel free to ask questions. I will surely help, and as per the best of my capacity and understanding, I will share. Okay, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.